I'm sitting on the floor. Hi everyone, what's up? Hi Sunny. Just finished filming a video. I'm filming another one. We're so productive this week. So I've been at home a lot and I've had a lot of time in my hands these days. So I was looking through some old boxes of things that I have, just some articles and magazines that I've written in and things I've contributed to. So I wanted to share with you more about my college experience because I know a lot of you are in college. I went to college a while ago, but I wanted to share with you more about how that was for me and show you what I created in college and show you sort of what I worked on after college. I went to Hampshire College, which is a private college that allows you to create your own major and sort of choose the path that you want to go in with your studies. So it's a very different education than a lot of other people got, but I think it's an amazing school, and it taught me to think critically, to be self-taught. It taught me discipline. It taught me essentially how to work on my own, because a lot of the projects you had to direct on your own, obviously with the help of your advisor. And obviously had your prerequisites the first 3 years and whatever you wanted to work on those 3 years. I chose to focus on Latino studies, and then for your last year, all of the seniors get a chance to do their own Division 3 project, which is essentially a thesis accompanied by a project, or some choose to do a thesis on their own, but like people made some incredible stuff. What I focused on was the image of Latinas in the media, and I looked from a certain time to now, or to the time that I was in school. Try to sort of dissect how Latinas are being seen and the work that we still have to do, how essentially images affect the way that we see people in the world, and how important they are, and how important media is, how necessary it is for media to be inclusive of all sexes, races, genders, background. Important it is for children to be able to see themselves reflected in the TV, in media. At the time, social media was not as big as it is now, so I focused mostly on TV shows and movies. So that was my thesis. In addition to my thesis, I had a chance to create a project, and that was what I was most excited about, because I have always loved magazines, and so I wanted to create a magazine that was about lifestyle, fashion, art, and poetry. And I wanted to create it with the girls. So we had a 5-college consortium, which meant that we could use the resources and take classes and participate in groups in the other 5 colleges around the area. So it was Hampshire College, Amherst College, UMass Amherst, Smith College, and Mount Holyoke College. So what I did is I reached out to students in my school as well as Latinas in the other schools to sort of contribute to this magazine and create this magazine. Also, part of my project was learning how to create the magazine on my own, because I've never used any sort of design program. Design is not great, but I really wanted to focus more on the content than anything else. So I also translated it. Here, I'll show you. So this is the magazine, and I named it Vida, and then it said fashion, art, poetry. So we did 2 different shoots, which were super fun to do, like 2 different editorial shoots. Everybody in the magazine was Latina. Everybody who contributed was Latina, so it was a magazine for Latinas by Latinas. And then we had different articles in it. One of the articles named Dear Carrie Bradshaw, and to all my other nameplate necklace wearers, please read up on your ghetto gold. And that was by Alana, who was my really good friend in college, and had like a spread on exceptional women in history that were all Latinas. And then we also had poetry. So it was very important for me to include poetry in this magazine, because I never saw poetry and lifestyle be combined in other magazines, and I really love poetry. So I wanted to include that in the magazine as well. So we had people create their own poems specifically for the magazine, and then I translated them. We also talked about mental health. My blues are true, don't make them a taboo, just because we felt that within like the Hispanic and Latino community, I feel like mental health is not talked about enough, and it's still not. But at the time, it was really not talked about as much. So we addressed that too. This is another shoot we did with Ali, who was Brazilian, and she's still my friend at the time. So that was really interesting to include a Brazilian in this, because there was so much like back and forth about whether or not Brazilians are Latinas. They are, and so I really wanted to include her in this magazine. And then lastly, because I obviously had to like design, do all of the editing, do all of the translation, I created also an article for it, which was a time travel tour, Latinas in the media, or how we can do better to look better. So that was my article contribution to the magazine. I translated this to Spanish, and here we have both of them. That was what I did in school, and I want to talk about that because I didn't study PR. I didn't go into PR. I didn't mean to go into PR. And I think that a lot of you like maybe are thinking that you have to get a degree in PR, or that you have to like focus on that too much. And not really. I mean, just having this to show and having my creativity like put in something tangible was super helpful for me to get internships, to get jobs. I still like even talk about it. I think, and I always say this, like I think if you have something going on and if you have something to show for the work that you've done, then that's going to be really beneficial for you, more than just having a PR degree. And I think that agencies and companies these days are looking at that more so than having a PR degree, because I think PR is something that you can learn and that you learn while you do it, and that it's kind of quick to pick up if you have all of these other skills and if you can think strategically. So I don't think that you necessarily need a PR degree. In fact, you could get a different degree and still go into working in PR. So during college, I had this friend and mentor at the time who created her own magazine. It was called Disfunction. I contributed to it while I was in college. Sorry, he just keeps like asking me for cuddles because he loves to cuddle. So my friend created her own magazine. It was called Disfunction. I wrote for it at the time, and then when I came to Miami, she was also living in Miami, so I wanted to work more closely with her and the magazine, and we just started working together, and it was so great. Like, we were able to sort of create this amazing magazine. Like, all of the designs she did. She's such a talented graphic designer, and then a lot of the writing I did, as well as just like the editing and the working with the freelance writers, coordinating shoots, just like basically everything that goes into that, so that she could focus on sort of the business side of the magazine and the designing of the magazine. I loved working on this so much, and just like in general, I love working with digital media, with print media, with storytelling, like telling women's stories or being able to work with them to tell their story, and I think that's super powerful. So I feel like I've been very blessed in that way to be able to work creatively and to know exactly what I want to do, or exactly like what direction I want to go in. So that's something that I'm definitely like thinking a lot about now, because I just really enjoy working with women's magazines, and I talk about that also in the magazine that I created in Vida. How when I was growing up, my mom had a beauty salon and she worked at a beauty salon, and I was always around there, like always surrounded by women and beauty standards. I remember she would always get the latest magazines, and I would look at them and I would say like, oh my god, it would be so cool to work at a magazine, it would be so cool to write for this, and also it would be so cool for more people to be included, like different faces, different backgrounds, more Latinas to be included in these magazines and in these images, so that when younger girls see these things, they don't feel like they have to look like this person, and they can see themselves represented in magazines and in media. That is why I love media. That's why I love this field, because it's just so powerful, and it has the power to make somebody feel like they belong in this world, and everybody does belong in this world. And I think that it's such a privilege, and it's so important to be able to distribute that message. So with all that said, that's what I did in college. If you have any specific questions, let me know, DM me, comment below, whatever you want. I'm happy to answer them. Because I have been looking through these documents for a couple days now, I wanted to share that with you in case it helps, and just let you know what I did in college. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I have a PR playlist that you can check out on my channel. It's under the playlist tab, and it'll give you all the PR videos that I have. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you are staying safe, and I will see you back here next time.